Okay, we all want clean air, right? And the solutions, well, they aren't some big secret. We actually know how to get there for our health, for our economies, and for the planet. So why does it feel like we're losing a war that, on paper, we should have already won? Let's get into it. This isn't some new abstract problem. What you're looking at here is the Great Smog of London, way back in 1952. For centuries, this kind of urban air pollution has been a lethal side effect of progress. In just 5 days, that London smog was responsible for an estimated 4,000 deaths. We've known for generations that the air we breathe can literally be a killer. And this is definitely not a relic of the past. Look at this number, 198. As I'm talking to you right now, that is the real-time air quality index in Kolkata, India. That's a level considered unhealthy for every single person there. This is the daily, immediate reality for millions upon millions of people all over the world.
So, to really understand how we got here, we have to look back at our industrial inheritance. I mean, sure, the smokestacks of the Industrial Revolution were the start, but it's urbanization and our deep reliance on fossil fuels that have scaled this problem to a truly global level.
And here's the crucial point. Air pollution isn't just about smog in a few big cities anymore. No, it's become a fundamental barrier to development, especially in low and middle-income countries. It actively damages health, it holds back economic growth, and it traps people in poverty. It's systemic. So what is the actual price we're paying for all this dirty air? Well, the numbers are absolutely staggering, and they go way beyond what you might just see or smell. Let's break down the true cost of smog. Let's start with the most devastating cost, the human one. 8.1 million. That is the estimated number of premature deaths from air pollution every single year. I mean, just to put that into perspective, that's more than many of the world's most talked about diseases combined. And the economic impact? It's just as shocking. Polluted air leads to an estimated 1.2 billion lost workdays every single year. That is a massive hit to productivity, and it affects everyone, individuals, businesses, and entire national economies. This really puts that economic damage into a stunning perspective. The World Bank estimates that the total cost of air pollution dreams somewhere between 4.7 and 6.5% from the entire world's economic output. It's this enormous, self-inflicted wound on our global GDP. And, behind all those big numbers are very personal health crises. Exposure to polluted air isn't just about a cough or irritated eyes. It's a direct trigger, or at least a contributing factor, for a whole host of chronic conditions. We're talking everything from asthma and heart disease to Alzheimer's and even cancer. This affects the quality of life for millions. Okay, that's the bad news. The problem is huge. It's deadly and it's expensive. But here's the pivot. Because this is a crisis we already know how to solve. A framework for clean air actually exists, and it's really well understood. At the core of this is an idea called the circular economy. It's a really fundamental shift in thinking. So instead of our old take, make, dispose model, it's all about designing systems from the very beginning to eliminate pollution and waste. It's about preventing the problem at its source. And this illustrates the ultimate goal perfectly, to decouple economic growth from pollution. For way too long, we've accepted this false choice, that getting richer means getting dirtier. This model proves it's totally possible for GDP to go up while pollution goes down. Prosperity doesn't have to cost us our health. And there's a practical, step-by-step roadmap for governments to follow. You start by assessing and monitoring the problem, then you analyze your options, you develop a strategy with clear policies, and then, and this is critical, you actually implement and enforce it. The playbook is already written. So if we know the devastating cost of doing nothing, and we have a clear framework for success, where is the disconnect? Well, to find the answer to that, we have to follow the money. First, let's look at the potential upside. The World Bank figures that implementing the right clean air policies could generate economic benefits of $2.4 trillion by 2040. And get this, that's just from the value of lives saved. It's a massive economic incentive to act. Which brings us to the central question of this whole explainer. We have the solutions. The health benefits are life-saving. The economic payoff is in the trillions of dollars. So what on earth is holding us back?
Okay, let's take a look at the international development funding from 2023. We see two key categories here. About $3.7 billion went to projects with an explicit goal of improving outdoor air quality. Then another $28.8 billion went to projects where clean air was sort of a side benefit, like a renewable energy project. But it's that first number we're really focused on, the direct fight.
And this brings us right to the heart of the matter, to what we're calling the paradox of progress. This is where our stated goals and our actual financial commitments just completely collide. And here it is. This is the direct comparison. On the left, you see that $3.7 billion in funding for projects directly targeting air quality. And on the right, in that same year, international development banks committed $9.5 billion to projects that actually prolong our use of fossil fuels, the primary source of the pollution in the first place. Let me put that another way just so it's crystal clear. The data shows that in 2023, for every single dollar spent on direct air quality projects, $2.50 were spent on projects that extend our reliance on fossil fuels. We're spending more than double to fuel the problem than we are to fix it. That is the paradox. This leaves us with a really powerful goal, one that's being echoed by South Africa as it prepares for its G20 presidency, to make sure clean air becomes a right enjoyed by all, not just a privilege for some. We have the knowledge, we have the tools. So the data really forces us to ask a simple question. When will our money finally follow our words?